Hello, everybody. We are finally back with a new YouTube video, and this is my journey and my love of books. So let's begin. I love a good book. Now, how do I qualify a good book? In my mind, a book has characters that you can latch onto and that you see some of yourself or something of your friends in. A part of the book and the characters feels like an extension of yourself and of your life. If you haven't caught on, the type of books that I enjoy are fantasy books. Now, I know that is a very broad section. Let's assume after everything I say, there's the word fantasy behind it. There is high, epic, dark, urban, historical, sword and sorcery, mythological, fairy tale, military, political, romantic, coming of age, scientific, quest and adventure, and post-apocalyptic and religious fantasy. Now, personally, I like epic, dark, scientific fantasy. And I started my book love journey many, many years ago. It was the start of a new year in January of 2007. For the longest time, I brought home that little booklet or like newspaper thing from school. I'm pretty sure it was called a Scholastic, with circles around stupid things like lawnmowers and other books, usually about wildlife. But I distinctly remember circling in a red crayon two very specific books that would set off the trajectory of my life forever and that forever reading addiction. Those two books were called a Geronimo Stilton book and a Diary of a Wimpy Kid book. By goodness gracious, I inhaled every Geronimo Stilton book I could find at school or when my family went to Indigo/Chapters. I remember staying up in my room with my legs hanging off the top bunk of my bed in the dark, having a flashlight, and refusing to sleep before I finished the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books. And then I felt their whimsy kind of fade. Geronimo Stilton became very generic, where each ending of the book needed to end with a power of friendship moment or like a special lesson we learned along the way. And I remember still being ready to read the Wimpy Kid series, but having to wait so long for the books to come out. And so we move on to another chapter. And I stumbled upon one of my favorite series that has become very special. And it's a very special world. And this author has some humor that has seeped its way into my bones through these books. I present the Percy Jackson books, the Percy Jackson series. Freaking like 2008, 2009 was very exciting. I remember reading an article promoting that The Last Olympian was coming out, and I remember my reaction. I said something along the lines of, Olympian? We just learned about the Greek and Roman gods in school, and I thought they were cool. I'm gonna ask my grandmother to buy them for me. Yes, I was devious. I was going to circumvent my parents and go right to my grandmother because, if we ask our grandmothers for anything, they'll probably buy it for us. And I remember her saying something along the lines of, I'll buy you the books, but you're only reading the first two, and the other ones will be given to you on your birthday, and you have to forget about them. That, you got to forget about them later, has become a little tradition, and I really remember it starting there. And it's, you don't forget about them. Let's be for real. We don't forget about them, but gotta pretend. Gotta be like super happy and excited. For reference, it was June, and the Battle of the Labyrinth had just come out. It also means that when my birthday rolled around in October, in my mind, I would only have 7 months to read The Titan's Curse and The Battle of the Labyrinth, which didn't give me enough time to read. This is what drove me to finish those 4 books in 4 months and then feel the agonizing pain of waiting the next 3 months for The Last Olympian to come out, to which when it did, I gobbled it up immediately. This went on for a while until I met someone who has been in these videos before. His gamer name is Mashed Mateo, or Space Draft is how I like to call him. His real name is Mateo. Back then, Mateo had a very nice young brain, and he could read a book incredibly fast. And he retained everything, which is diabolical to me. In the time it took me to read one book, which was about a month, he could read two of equal length, equal calibration. It was insane. Which means within Percy Jackson, he caught up to me very, very quickly. And then I stepped into a different world. I enter into the world of Harry Potter. All right, it's me in 7th grade. Mateo has caught up to me in Percy Jackson books. We're both waiting on the next Percy Jackson book, and we both start on Harry Potter. I very quickly get taken over by the lore, the characters, the magic, the settings, and everything else. I'm not only reading these books, I'm doing all the quizzes. I'm a Hufflepuff, by the way. I have been for the last 10 years. And Mateo, my best friend, he's flip-flopped between Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw. We bully him a little bit for it. Because, wow, he's not loyal. Obviously, he can't be Hufflepuff. He's got to be Ravenclaw. But, like, I watch this YouTube channel called the Super Carlin Brothers with all their theories and lore videos based on Harry Potter. And I'm there in the world of Harry Potter for so long. And I absolutely love it. I'm saying this and I have a giant smile on my face. And then this fateful day comes. And Mateo comes over and he says words that haunt me forever. Spoiler warning, if you haven't watched or read Harry Potter, stop. Or like, I'll put on the screen how far you need to jump to make it to the next part of my story. So Mateo tells me Dumbledore is dead. And I explode and I yell at him like he knows where I am in the books. He should not have told me and spoiled it for me that Dumbledore dies. Like, we talk about this series every day. I kid you not. And, it blew my mind. And then I remember, like, a couple days later, he comes back to me. He's like, guess what? I have more information. And I was like, I don't want to know. Don't tell me. I don't want to know. And he's like, well, Dobby is dead. Oh, frick you. Don't tell me that Dobby is dead. I'm like, why are you kidding me? Why? And, okay, I'll be for real. I didn't let that go for a really, really long time. Every book from then on, if he was reading after me, I felt in my heart of hearts, I needed to spoil something for him. And I would say, he would ask me, he's like, why would you tell me that? And I'm like, it's for Dobby and Dumbledore. It's for Dobby and Dumbledore. How dare you? And I know, this now makes me equally a terrible friend, but it had to be done. You don't ruin a moment like that. Now, obviously, I'm fired up. And Harry Potter is still a series that I love. Both the books and the movies. Frick. Even my YouTube logo has the Hufflepuff colors in the background. I still get hoodies and wands, and my family and I just went to Europe, and there was a temporary Harry Potter museum, and I brought it up with my mom. We ended up going, and I bought a sweater there. I still love Harry Potter. But now, it's starting of COVID, dear 2020, and my dad's been telling me he thinks this next series, how Harry Potter gripped me, this next series will grip me the same way. he's saying it'll change the way I think of fantasy. Now, for reference, he has said this before. He has said this when he gave me the Aragon series. He said this same thing when I read Ender's Game. He said the same thing when I read Hunger Games. And he said the same thing when I read the Tolkien series, The Hobbit, and The Lord of the Rings. Nothing changed. I wasn't gripped the same way that I was gripped from Percy Jackson and Harry Potter. And then he said, this time is different, I promise. It's a 14-book series. It has massive world building. There's really fun characters that I think you'll connect with and enjoy. And, oh, yeah, he was speaking about it like it was gripping him. I gave it a shot. And this series is called The Wheel of Time, primarily written by Robert Jordan and finished by Brandon Sanderson. And it is so good. Wheel of Time is the series for me, at least right now. And it's been like 7 years of being the series for me. I really love it. There's a show, and it's all right. It's nothing compared to the books. The books are so awesome. Like, the show tried. It tried its best. But there's something about, like, reading the book and seeing the characters. And, like, Robert Jordan is just so good at everything. I became so focused on Wheel of Time. And I couldn't stop reading. From cover to cover, I read the entire glossary, going over the prologues. And, like, for all this time that I've been looking at Harry Potter lore videos, I've now become accustomed to, like, looking at all the intricacies about everything within the Wheel of Time. But it's so massive, and it's so good. And I didn't have to wait for any books. I could pick up the next one because they've already been written. And so I flew through those books. It was absolutely amazing. And there's a character. I mean, there's a lot of characters. But there's a specific character that Mateo and I have been quoting whenever we go do something and it requires a little bit of luck. And it's something that's actually stuck with me. And the character says, in Old Tongue, he says, Dovi endi se tovias again, which translates to, it's time to roll the dice. And for me, I always say the term, like, let's go. Like, let's do this thing. Let's do it anyway, like YOLO. But it's so much fun to feel like you're a part of something, that you're doing it. And it's lucky. It's like, let's see how it goes. And it's an inside thing with Mateo and I and anybody else who knows Wheel of Time, just saying, Dovi endi se tovias again. I love fantasy books, and I wanted to share this with YouTube or with Instagram, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So the light be with you, with all of you. Thank you.